Okay. There are two questions. One is an observation. When I used to lie to my parents,
Hmm.
it always became true. And that was a painful thing. So, for example, if I said I want to go and meet Vasanta and for say cup of coffee, but I have lied, okay, we need to discuss some notes and we need to study. And inevitably, you would call up and we
Hmm.
would land up studying instead of having that coffee
Hmm.
or chatting or
Ah.
whatever.
Hmm.
So it happened so often that I decided that lying was not a good option because it didn't work in my favor. I had to actually land up doing what I lied about. So it was a very strange learning,
Hmm.
and it came after a lot of uh, attempts to feel
Experimentation.
my way around.
Hmm.
Uh,
Hmm.
but on a this is the funnier part. Obviously, it kept happening. Sometimes I feel good about it now that I try and. In fact, when I said this in my last episode also, I think when I decided consciously that I'm not going to lie anymore. So the first time I realized I had lied was around 4 weeks after I had lied. So I was like, oh my God, I've already done this.
Ah.
The reason why it works, I'm
Hmm.
unsure whether I still do not completely 100% abstaining, I do not know. The attempt is there.
Hmm.
Consciously one tries and, either stays quiet. If I cannot manage to tell you the truth, I'll try and stay quiet. But it's a practice. It takes a lot of time. It's not easy
Hmm.
to.
Hmm.
So my question to you is, you said there are because it's a value based discussion that we are talking about. So there are small lies which are okay. There are big lies which are definitely not okay. Now for a kid, very often they do not see the difference. You lied,
Oh,
I
yeah,
lied,
they do.
and they bring it back to you out of context and in a manner that it falls like you said a ton of bricks on our head. But didn't you say this? And you're like, okay, how do I wriggle out? So, but on a serious note, how do you build this trust in yourself that you can live with saying any good habit? I'm saying we will continue the lie and truth surely because we are talking about it. But anything worthwhile takes a lot of effort. Even if it is something as simple as delivering something on time when you start working, I think half the time initial to we die of stress only when we've started our careers.
Hmm.
It's only after
Hmm.
1 or 2 years when you keep on delivering, you get confidence about your work, you start getting a hang of what you're good at, what you're not. Then you're able to, promise certain deadlines, stick to them, and do things which are extraordinary. So how do you, where did you decide that, okay, small lies are okay, big lies aren't? But somewhere you took the decision, okay, the difficult ones are the ones that I will always be honest about. What you meant
Yeah.
in a certain manner, you're saying party is okay. Of course, it's not always okay considering that the parties these days are being raided right, left, and center.
Yeah.
Wouldn't want to know about a kid in that fashion. But
Yeah.
I'm saying on a serious note, how do you go through this whole value system? How does one build a strong moral fiber for oneself so that one becomes trustworthy to oneself to start with? Forget others.
Ah. Hmm. Difficult question, it seems as though it's a simple one, but it's actually a very difficult question.
Yeah, yeah. So where does it start? I want you to go there.
I think it starts, and I don't know if you ever want to hear this on your podcast or, on this interview. But the truth is, it starts with your understanding of the world around you, economics of the working world around you, and your place in it. That's really where it starts. And basis the world, the economics of it, and your place in it, there is a certain privilege that you have versus you don't have. Basis that there will be X lies which you can get away with, and bigger lies or the big things which you just can't navigate. So what you can get away with, you will, because that's the nature of the human being. What you can't get away with is it's just plain old easy to navigate it more honestly. It's as simple as that. It's not like the moral fiber is common for everybody. It's not like the value system is common for everybody. In fact, the requirement of a moral fiber and the value system itself is an imposed requirement. It is not inherently, something that we would like imposed upon ourselves. And so, in that context, I feel that depending on where you are in this entire scheme of things, your morals and your values keep navigating that space.
Okay. Um, I have a point of view. Just build on it if you
Hmm.
feel that it is worthy of contemplation. When I
Hmm.
asked you the question, I didn't have the question in my mind either. We have
Okay.
we've been talking impromptu on these chats. Uh,
Hmm.
my understanding is unless you're forced down a corner where you are really contemplating what your self-worth and life is about, which may include the
Hmm.
economics of it, like you said, uh, which may not. Because at least post-COVID, I would disagree on the economics because it's gone completely haywire in terms of pushing us down the mortality thought process. Because that
Hmm.
then brings
Hmm.
in question bigger existential issues. Once we are cornered in a certain place, uh, loss of relationships, loss of money, of course, which is an important aspect in urban milieu for sure. Loss of health and life, which is again got into center stage, something that we took for granted, and we always thought that somebody else was unlucky who got something.
Hmm.
But I think COVID kind of
Hmm.
democratized the entire thing. All of us feel equally vulnerable about that.
Hmm.
Uh, So my point is, once you're cornered, is the
Hmm.
first time you really start thinking about yourself. Like, who am I really? Beside this preconceived notions of I belong to a certain uh, religion, whatever is your comfort zone, economic zone, whatever one
Hmm.
comforts one, because people are different, like you very rightly said. But that fear
Hmm.
is very common. The doubt is very common. Where do we stand as an individual when the whole world is out to get us in our eyes? It can be
Hmm.
through health, it can be through death or death of a relationship. When you see all of us are going to party and I have just had a breakup with someone who I feel very closely about, it could be a relation at home or a girlfriend or a wife or a friend. It could be any kind of breakup. I don't really see it only in the romantic sense. Something which is troubling me. I think even if it's the best kind of party and I enjoy your company and the company of people around, we are getting to eat
Hmm.
and drink whatever we want, it doesn't make me happy. So even in places like those which are otherwise happiness inducing, they don't give me that side sense of contentment. So
Hmm.
my point to you is, where in that am I is a question that keeps knocking on one's mind doors, if one were to call it that. Because day in, day out, you realize, okay, at work, like again, just to go back to the example I just had, when my wife passed away, for a couple of months, I think more than grief, it was it was a sense of, okay, who am I now? Now that I do not have to
Hmm.
serve her, now I have to face the world. Like I used to joke that at least I could hide behind her because I lost touch with people, and the most important things to others were absolutely idiotic things to me. For me, it was about getting
Hmm.
the right treatment, having a good day so that we did not have too many troubles, and she did not have a fall or whatever other symptoms did not aggravate on that particular day. So everything was important every day, and everything important to the world wasn't important to me. But once that was taken
Hmm.
away from me, that sense of, okay, now
Hmm.
I have to search for meaning and purpose again. So funnily enough, there was no work, the market was quite bad, and when we got out, there was nothing to be done. So one was in one's shell for a long time. at least 2 or 3 months, I was just trying to figure out, okay, what was life about? Who am I? Who are these people? Now again, now that 6, 7 months have passed, my work is doing well, and my some of my friends are close to me. I'm doing some social work on a very continuous basis. So these things are helping, get a hang of the new me that is being formed. Am I happy about it? I do not
Mm-hmm.
know. I am still to decide who am I yet. So my question to you is: do you think that also plays a part in this value system growing? Because now you consciously start choosing who you want to be after such a big thing has happened. You do not want to take for granted smaller things. You want your life to be meaningful. If it means being truthful and honest and not stealing and doing whatever things that make you happy, do you think that is one important aspect that one needs to consider?
I think most big events, big life events, make us reevaluate what we are doing
Yeah,
and where we want to be next time. So that I think my personal belief is that it's reevaluating yourself and where you are in the context of a big life event, whether it be a happy event or a sad event or a grief event, right? um, Whatever be it, the evaluation that one goes through is an act of self perseverance, because the me I am needs to find a new way to survive, and I will evaluate what is my best way to go forward after that, whatever has happened to me, you know and that's really the motivator in those moments, which says, hey, you know what, like for example, you yourself said you had a certain life focus, your life had a certain meaning, and that was driving you, that drove you, and it gave everything around you a certain perspective, meaning, a reason to be, all of that. For me, it was the fact that I had 3 kids to raise, and I was a middle class housewife. I needed to keep a job. I needed to keep pay the EMI. I needed to keep food on the table. I needed to ensure everybody did their homework, got their clothes cleaned on time. Nutritious food was, dumped into every stomach, every single meal of the day, etc., etc. Right? The fact that we have that focus keeps us going. It gives our lives a meaning. If that focus is taken away, then that meaning that we believe exists suddenly does not exist anymore. Then we need to find where we are now and what is the new meaning we will search for, and in that context, how much have we evolved or not evolved, and therefore what is it that we need to do to be the next meaningful us version of ourselves,
that is beautiful
you know
because you've actually given a shape to the jigsaw that works and also brought a new perspective to something that I had not thought about. Uh, Very loosely put in one line, the entire thing that you said is vulnerability to strength, and then the strength that others can also depend on. Not only you yourself
Yep.
are gaining from that value system, and in kind of simplifying what you said, you went on clarifying what are the things. So there was perseverance, there was focus, there is one of my favorite phrases that doing what needs to be done irrespective of what you like or not, whether you like it or
Yep.
not. I think that aspect came forward. uh, and the beauty is that it is vulnerability that brings it up. You feel
Yep.
vulnerable, you feel unsure, you feel uh, everything that you stood for is crumbling, and
Mm.
yet it is not the end of the world because something you keep searching inside that is making you work. In my case, I want to bring up one thing. A lot of people have been telling me, "Oh, now you got to live for your daughter or live for this or live for that." I personally find these goals uh, very rude to my own existence. Uh, and because
Yeah.
it kind of very easily takes away the fact that a person should learn to live for himself or herself with as much passion and as much love irrespective of the fact that he or she may not be going through a bad time for a phase. In fact, we started with
Mm,
something where you said everything is unstable, changing all the time. And in a way, we are
yep.
coming back to the circle, kind of meeting itself, because you cannot decide what's going to happen to you, but you can
Yeah.
definitely decide how you're going to take it. Are you going to accept it? How much of it is acceptable? How much of it can be changed? How much of it cannot be changed? These things are, I think, extremely important in growing through this phase of vulnerability. Uh, one
Yes.
quick last question. What is the role of this kind of journey in finding clarity?
Ah, you know, I it's easy to say that every journey, just the act of walking through the journey helps develop the clarity, but it takes a lot more than that. You know, people undertake journeys without being committed to experiencing the journey. They want the journey without the discomfort of the journey, you know,
Yeah.
and it's a conundrum. It's a true conundrum because when you want to act as though you got the experience and you never did anything that got you that experience, you know. Uh, so what do you say? Because I mean, it's it's where you come from in that journey. It's about how much you are willing to be open about in that journey. So there, I think it's I am possibly not the only middle class mother, and I am possibly not the only one who depended on the village to help me raise my family and my daughter. And therefore, in the context, did my family become larger in the overall journey? Yes. Did the nature of my family change? Yes. And will the nature of everybody's family change? Yes, it will happen. Will it change in the same way? No, it won't. Why not? Simply because you are what you take of your journey. If you choose to walk your journey blindfolded, then there is little anybody can do for you. You can still say that you walked through the journey, you just don't have the experience of it, sadly.
I like this, and for the first time, I would want to end on this vulnerable note instead of giving some words of solace. So thank you, Vasanta, for joining me. It's been wonderful chatting up with you. There's a lot of thoughts running in my head. I would want to stay with them. Thank you so much.
Thank you too for inviting me.
Thank you. Bye. See you.
Yeah. Bye. See you.